Welcome to Hot Drama TV.
Luxury doesn't announce itself. It waits. For months her name was quiet. Not forgotten, just watched. And then, without explanation, without noise, she appeared in Valentino. This is not a comeback. It's a statement. In the world of luxury fashion, nothing happens by accident. Every face, every campaign, every moment of silence before an announcement is calculated, not just to sell a product but to tell a story. And when Valentino chose Song Zu'er, it wasn't simply about beauty, youth, or popularity. It was about timing. And timing in fashion is everything. For a long time, Song Zu'er existed in a strange space, widely recognized, deeply remembered, yet quietly absent. She was never truly gone, but she was no longer everywhere. In an industry that moves fast and forgets even faster, absence is dangerous. Silence can erase even the brightest names. And yet, when she returned, she didn't rush. She didn't over-explain. She simply appeared, dressed in Valentino. That image said more than any statement ever could. Valentino, a house built on elegance, restraint, and emotional precision, understands the power of subtlety. This is a brand that doesn't chase noise. It waits. It watches. And when it moves, it does so with intention. Choosing Song Zu'er was not a gamble. It was a quiet declaration. Because luxury today is no longer about perfection. It's about narrative. Song Zu'er carries a story that modern audiences recognize instantly. She is youthful but not naive. Elegant but not distant. There is softness in her presence, yet a visible strength underneath. The kind that comes from having survived scrutiny, pressure, and expectation without needing to announce it. This is where the collaboration becomes meaningful. Valentino does not dress loud personalities. It dresses presence. It dresses people who don't need to demand attention, because attention finds them anyway. In Song Zu'er, the brand found a face that mirrors its own philosophy. Beauty that doesn't beg to be seen, but rewards those who look closer. When she wears Valentino, the clothes don't dominate her. And she doesn't overpower the clothes. Instead, they exist in balance, a conversation rather than a performance. That balance is rare, especially in an era obsessed with shock value and instant impact. And that is exactly why it works. For Song Zu'er, this partnership is not a comeback in the traditional sense. There is no dramatic return, no loud announcement, no reinvention. It is something far more difficult, a recalibration. A step into a space that demands maturity, restraint, and confidence in one's own timing. For Valentino, the choice reflects a deeper shift in luxury branding. The house is no longer only selling garments or beauty products. It is aligning itself with emotional intelligence, with faces that carry layers, with stories that feel lived rather than manufactured. This collaboration speaks quietly to a new generation of consumers who are tired of perfection, skeptical of hype, and deeply drawn to authenticity, even when that authenticity includes pauses, imperfections, and unanswered questions. There is something almost cinematic about the way Song Zu'er fits into Valentino's world. Not as a muse frozen in time, but as a character mid-journey. Someone still unfolding. Someone whose story is not finished, and therefore compelling. And perhaps that is the most powerful element of this collaboration. It doesn't shout. It doesn't explain itself. It invites you to watch. In an industry where everything is often overexposed, Valentino and Song Zu'er chose restraint. They chose mood over message, presence over performance. And in doing so, they created something far more memorable than a typical campaign. Because fashion at its highest level is not about what you wear. It's about when you appear, and how you let the world see you again. In fashion, silence is never empty. It's a test. When a face disappears from the spotlight, the world assumes the story is over. But sometimes silence is simply preparation. A space where pressure reshapes identity and time filters out what isn't real. Song Zu'er didn't return loudly. She returned precisely.
No dramatic headlines. No emotional confessions.
Just a single image framed in Valentino, calm, controlled, and impossible to ignore. In that moment, the message was clear. This wasn't about reclaiming attention. It was about redefining presence. Valentino understands this language fluently. This is a house built on restraint, on the confidence to let elegance speak without explanation. It doesn't chase moments, it curates them. And choosing Song Zu'er was not about following trends, but about recognizing a shared rhythm. She carries softness without fragility, youth without immaturity. There is history in her eyes, not the kind written in press releases, but the kind earned through endurance. That depth is invisible to algorithms, but unmistakable to luxury. This is where their worlds align. Valentino does not dress noise. It dresses nuance. And in Song Zu'er, the brand found someone who doesn't need to perform strength. She embodies it quietly. The clothes don't overwhelm her story. They refine it. This collaboration is not designed to go viral. It is designed to last. In an industry obsessed with immediacy, both Valentino and Song Zu'er chose something radical: patience. They trusted that the right audience would recognize meaning without being told where to look. And when that recognition happens, it feels personal, like discovering something meant for you, not marketed to you. This is not fashion as spectacle. This is fashion as atmosphere. And the story has only just begun. What makes this moment even more compelling is what it refuses to explain. There are no slogans telling you how to feel. No aggressive messaging demanding attention. No attempt to turn vulnerability into spectacle. Instead, there is distance, and distance in luxury creates desire. Song Zu'er's presence in Valentino doesn't rely on shock or reinvention. It relies on recognition. She appears as someone who has crossed an invisible line, from being watched to being understood. That transition cannot be staged. It happens only when time has done its work. This is why the collaboration feels restrained, almost intimate. Valentino is not introducing a new face to the world. It is acknowledging a woman who has already been seen, questioned, paused, and now quietly re-emerging with clarity. That kind of narrative cannot be rushed, and it cannot be replicated with someone untouched by experience. Luxury brands today are no longer searching for flawless icons. They are searching for emotional credibility, faces that feel lived in, stories that feel unresolved, people who carry silence as convincingly as they carry elegance. Song Zu'er fits that space naturally. When she stands in Valentino, there is no tension between who she is and what she wears. The clothes don't ask her to transform. They allow her to remain. And that subtle harmony is what elevates the image from promotion to presence. This is where the collaboration transcends fashion. It becomes a statement about modern femininity. One that does not rely on constant visibility to prove relevance. One that understands withdrawal can be as powerful as appearance. One that values control over exposure. In choosing each other, Valentino and Song Zu'er are quietly rejecting the idea that relevance must be loud to be real. They are trusting the intelligence of the audience. Trusting that some stories don't need to be pushed forward, only revealed at the right moment. And that trust is rare. Because it risks misunderstanding. It risks being overlooked. It risks patience in a world that has very little of it. But when it works, it creates something far more enduring than attention. It creates resonance. In the end, this was never about a dress, a campaign, or a name on a contract. It was about restraint. In a world that rewards speed, Valentino chose patience. In an industry addicted to noise, Song Zu'er chose presence. And somewhere between fabric and silence, a story took shape. One that didn't ask to be understood immediately, only felt. This is what true luxury looks like now. Not louder, not faster, but deeper. Because trends fade, faces change, but timing, when chosen with intention, becomes unforgettable. And perhaps that is the quiet power of this moment. Not a return, not a reinvention, just a woman, a house, and the confidence to let the world look closer.